Most people who want to build unbreakable habits continue to search for external solutions, the tips and tricks to staying more disciplined. But what if I told you that's the reason they stay stuck? There's a simple 7-level framework that'll either support your habits or break them before you start. Stick around to the end of this video and you'll be in the 1% of people who use this framework to build long-term sustainable habits. Look, this probably isn't the first video you've watched on building habits. After all, there's a reason why there's a plethora of content on YouTube surrounding building up your habits. And while there's a lot of practical and effective knowledge out there, none of that technical information matters unless you get one key thing in order. What's that key thing? It's your energy. What do I mean by energy? Well, simply put, quantum physics says that as humans, we are vibrating energy in flesh. To be said more practically, our energy is simply the way that we show up moment to moment and day to day. That energy makes a difference between habits we give up on and habits we stick to. There are 7 different levels of energy, levels that each and every one of us experiences whether we're aware of them or not. With awareness, though, these levels become a cheat code towards building success in life and business, and starting with this video, your habits. Developed in 2007 by Bruce D. Schneider, this 7-level framework, also known as energy leadership, is a practical way to view something typically intangible like our perception of ourselves, our situations, and the world around us. It shows us how we show up in different situations, and with awareness, gives us the ability to consciously choose to show up differently, aka more productively. Throughout the 7 levels, there's 2 types of energy, catabolic and anabolic. Catabolic energy is the tearing down force that holds us back from our goals. Think cannibalism, because it's literally eating away at our potential. Catabolic energy is primarily found within level 1 and 2, and more on that in just a moment. Anabolic energy, on the other hand, is a building up force. Think of it like going to the gym and eating your protein. You're building your muscle. By utilizing anabolic energy, you can build a more fulfilling and impactful life. In just a moment, I'll dive deep into each one of these levels and how they impact your ability to build strong and sustainable habits. It's important to note that each one of these levels is completely normal, and we all experience each and every one of them. The goal is to not label any of these levels as good or bad because they all have advantages and disadvantages. Hear me when I say this. The goal is to know whether you're experiencing an energy level by choice because it serves you or by default because it's what you're used to. Each level is based on the foundational concept that our thoughts determine how we feel, and how we feel determines how we act. So each level has a core thought, a core feeling, and a core action and result. Let's get into it. When we're experiencing level 1 energy, we tend to be at the effect of the world. It might seem like nothing we do is good enough, that no matter what we try, our habits just don't stick. And maybe we start to believe that we're not capable of building strong, sustainable habits at all. Because of this, the core thought of level 1 is victim. The core feeling is apathy, and ultimately the action is lethargy. Simply put, when we think and believe this way, we feel disempowered, and then ultimately don't take the actions that are required to get us to where we want to go. When we're experiencing level 2 energy, tension can be high. While we may be experiencing frustration and anger towards others, we could also be experiencing anger towards ourselves. Maybe we have a certain level of conflict with the version of ourselves that keeps giving in on our habits. The core thought of level 2 is conflict, the core feeling is anger, and the core action is defiance. This is the level that people operate at when they work well under pressure. They might be able to get a lot of stuff done, but it's usually not sustainable. When we're very critical of ourselves, it can tend to be a mix of both level 1 and 2 energies. Now remember, as I said, levels 1 and 2 are primarily made up of catabolic energy, meaning these 2 levels usually are far more destructive than they are constructive. But also keep in mind, like I said, every level has advantages and disadvantages. For example, in a scenario where someone walks up to you and your family on the street and gets physical with you, you're going to want to choose a level 2 energy of conflict to defend your family. As we go up the levels, you'll see why the more anabolic energy levels wouldn't really be a wise choice in a scenario like this. Also, stick around to the end of this video for a neat way to personalize these energy levels to yourself. Level 3 is where acceptance starts to come in, sort of. It's not true acceptance, it's more of a it is what it is level of acceptance. Something you're experiencing may not be ideal, but you're gonna figure it out. You're not a victim to it, you're not angry at it, you're doing what you can with what you have, even though it might not be ideal. The core thought is reconciliation, the core feeling is forgiveness, and the core action is cooperation. You can think of it like this. Because level 1 is victim energy, it's usually associated with I lose. Because level 2 is anger, it's often associated with you lose. Level 3 is our first level of primarily anabolic energy. It's the first level of winning associated with I win. If you win, great, but I win. People experiencing level 4 tend to be great problem solvers. The emotions often associated with this level of energy are compassion, gratitude, caring, trust, and conditional love. As a result, people with a level 4 perspective tend to come from a heart space and make deep connections. So perhaps you notice that you're far more likely to help others reach their goals and support them while they build their habits than you are yourself. And while level 4 is primarily service to others, it can also apply when nurturing oneself. This is the you win level. The core thought is concern, the core feeling is compassion, and the core action is service. Level 5 is moderate to high anabolic energy. This is the level of creating a win-win. Again, level 1 is I lose, level 2 is you lose, level 3 is I win if you win, great, level 4 is you win, level 5 is we both win. We no longer see things as good or bad or right or wrong. You didn't do a good or bad job building a habit. What you tried wasn't right or wrong. Building a habit, no matter where you've come from, is simply an opportunity for you to grow. The core thought is reconciliation, the core feeling is peace, and the core action is acceptance. Remember when I said level 3 is the start of acceptance? Level 5 is true, full acceptance. So let's pause here. Opportunity. What a big difference between being the victim and accepting that things are neither good or bad, and seeing everything as an opportunity. This is exactly why these levels are so important. If you live with so much victim or frustration thinking, levels 1 and 2, how on earth could you possibly build a sustainable habit? But if you view the process as an opportunity, which is all that it is, how could you do anything but grow? At level 6, judgment is no longer present. The lack of judgment can lead to less desire and/or stress about a specific outcome as we put more focus on the experience of growth itself. It's the level of trusting our intuition. If you've ever experienced being in the flow, that's another great way to know that you're experiencing level 6 energy. The core thought is synthesis, the core feeling is joy, and the core action is wisdom. Now stick with me here. Level 7 can seem a bit out there, but I promise there's a simple way to view it through a practical lens. After all, the whole point of this framework is to take something typically intangible and make it practical so it's something we can work with. The core thought of level 7 is non-judgment, the core feeling is absolute passion, and the core action is creation. At level 7, you are the creator and visionary. Winning and losing are illusions at this level, as you're essentially a unified whole with everyone and everything else. Depending on your religion or spirituality, this might resonate with you, or it might not. The best way to view it practically is through the lens of being a creator. The act of simply choosing an energy level because it serves you, by definition, is level 7 energy. You might notice that you're reacting with a level 2 energy of anger and conflict, and decide that a level 5 energy of win-win will lead to a better outcome. Congrats, you've briefly tapped in to level 7. Now remember, no level is good or bad, right or wrong, and nobody resonates at the higher levels all the time, or any level for that matter. Again, the goal is to know whether you're experiencing these levels by choice because they serve you, or by default because it's what you're used to. So, how do you wrap all of this up into a nice little bow to help you with your habits? Remember earlier when I mentioned there's a neat way to personalize the levels to you? Well, I'm not just preaching these levels because I believe in them, I'm preaching them because I'm certified to. And if you want to go beyond this video with your learning and you want to go beyond just reading more about the framework, I'd be happy to have you take the Energy Leadership Index assessment. Over a 90-minute debrief with me, you'll see your precise energy levels down to the percentage, both when things are going well for you and when you're under stress. It's the best way to see the opportunity you have, level 5, plastered right in front of you to build a more fulfilling and impactful life. Other certified coaches are charging over $300 for this powerful tool. However, the men inside of my completely free community get the assessment for $99. The link's down below. I'll see you inside.